live on purpose. What does that mean to you? To me, live on purpose has a double meaning. That you have a purpose and that you do it intentionally, where you create and live a life that you love. The purpose of this channel is to assist you in doing just that. I'm Dr. Paul Jenkins. I'm a clinical psychologist. I've been in practice for about 20 years. Several years ago, I made a big shift in my practice to positive psychology. The focus here at Live on Purpose and with pathological positivity is to create a new pandemic of pathological positivity. Positive psychology can be thought of on a spectrum. If you think of your mental health and your emotions and your psychological life, your relationships on a spectrum, and then clear over here on the left end of the spectrum is the sick end, where we have diagnosis and pathology and treatment. And that's where I lived for a long time in my practice. I had a traditional psychotherapy practice. I'd give people diagnoses, we'd bill their insurance company for treatment. Well, the shift to positive psychology brings it to this end of the spectrum. What's at the right end of the spectrum? And to understand that, let's go to the middle first. Right here in the middle is health. Health meaning not sick. So if you think about your physical health, you might be sick in bed with a fever, throwing up. And there comes a time when you can get out of bed and you're not sick anymore. But that doesn't mean that you are truly fit, thriving, prospering. That's over at this end of the spectrum, and that's what positive psychology and pathological positivity is all about. To inspire people to live their life on purpose. That's what I do. I understand that there's a lot of things in this world that are not positive. In fact, when I watch the news, I get discouraged. I see all of the stuff that's going on in people's lives and how painful it can be. I've also made a habit of collecting and sharing inspiring stories through our podcast, LiveOnPurposeRadio.com. And I have noticed that every single inspiring story, every one without exception, has a hard part in the middle. And to me, that's the part that gives it the power to inspire. I'm not inspired by stories that don't have a hard part. So as you watch these videos, and as you think about your own life and the difficulties that you have in your own life, remember that every inspiring story has a hard part in the middle. If you're experiencing a hard thing right now, to me, that's good news. This is the middle part of your inspiring story. As you apply proper principles and techniques, you can transform whatever your life has handed you into something that's beautiful and full of purpose. We also want this to be very interactive, so your comments and questions will drive the content that we provide to you. Ask questions, make comments. If there's some particular issue that you would like us to address, we're going to be watching those comments and creating new content to address those things. You can expect a new video about once a week. The best way to stay in contact with us is to subscribe here. Subscribe to get this content delivered directly to you. You'll get notices every time we upload a new video. Thanks again for visiting our channel. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you share, make sure you leave your comments and be part of the conversation. I'm Dr. Paul Jenkins.